Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. The thing that gets me about so many of these stories is how little social skills these jerks have. Even if you'd work there, who gets help from an employee by screaming a product name at them? It's just basic manners that most of us learn as small children. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. A moron and a pink ribbon. This was years ago. I work in a fancy deli, and our uniform consists of a bright pink apron. It's neon, burn your eyes out pink. It had a long pink ribbon that crisscrosses your back and finishes in a fancy bow. Very ugly. I work in a kind of mall, quite small, with a handful of shops, clothing, butchers, a supermarket, and a few cafes. The bloody pink monstrosity is a pain in the butt and a have to put on and remove, so we tend to keep on wearing it whenever we step out of the shop for lunch, shopping, blah, blah, blah. I needed some prescriptions filled, and as it was super quiet, my boss was happy to let me go to the pharmacy a couple of shops down while still wearing my neon apron. The pharmacy folk wear green shirts and black pants and a lanyard around their necks. There's absolutely no way to mistake me for one of the workers. I was waiting for my prescription to be filled when a man's voice piped up from behind me. "Hair dyes." I thought it odd, but didn't turn around. Surely he was talking to me, right? "Hair dyes," I hear again. I ignore it. "Hair dyes!" This scream is accompanied by a slap to the middle of my back. I turn around and realize that a middle-aged, stocky, balding dude is standing just inches behind me. He seemed angry, nostrils flaring. It's not easy to rile me up by woe to you if you do. My friends call me Snorlax, the sleepy Pokemon, because I'm a sleeping nightmare. I'm pissed about the slap, but whatever, I've had worse. "I don't work here," I say, pointing to the massive logo on my chest that was eye height to him. I'm very tall and he's very small. "Yes, you do. Don't lie." Why do these people think we'd lie about this crap? Nope, I work at the deli further down. I turn around thinking that was that. "You do!" This screech is followed by a slap to my shoulder blades. The nightmarish me is rising to the surface. "Slap me again and I'll call security." I turn and glare at the jerk. By now, the pharmacy staff have come to see what was going on. The B-turds didn't do crap to stop the man, though. Once again, I turn around. Then a massive pulling motion on the ribbon of my apron pretty much pulls me backwards and down. The ribbon pulls on the fabric of the apron, which pulls up around my throat, choking me. The strength of the pulling pretty much forces me into a limbo position, tightening the apron till I couldn't breathe. He was so small that pulling on the ribbon forced me down. He may have been tiny, but GD, he was strong. I'm grabbing at the fabric around my throat to loosen it and breathe, but he's holding on tight. His grip loosens and I'm able to recover and breathe. The pharmacy guys finally got their butts into motion and called security. Our security guy is huge, and he had picked up the jerk and is holding him back. A kind lady from the staff takes me to the chair so I can catch my breath. Dude is struggling and screaming, trying to break the hold that my bulky savior has him in. Police are called and are pulling him away while he screams about police brutality. Statements are taken and cups of tea are brewed for me. Australia's British roots are still evident. I don't know what happened to the D-bag, but I do know he got a permaban from the mall. I was never called up for a trial or anything, so I have no idea where he is and what the police did to him. It took a while to stop being nervous about wearing the apron, but people in the mall were very kind. 95% of the people here are regular, sane humans. And our second story. Fire me for a stupid reason? Enjoy watching your career burn. This isn't my story, but my uncle's. I remember talking to him about this, and I think it would fit here. Obviously, names have been changed. The story happened several years ago. My uncle had worked for about 35 years at a large, well-known grocery store chain in the U.S. Basically, he started working as a grocery bagger when he was 16 years old and just never stopped working there. For 35 years, he worked at the same location, doing basically every task in the store. He finished high school and never looked back, always continuing at this location. His pay increased to the maximum level for non-managers, and he got offered numerous promotions to manager or even district manager positions that would have paid more, but he always turned them down. He knew what he wanted from his life, and he didn't want any additional responsibility. During all these years, my uncle, who we'll call Bob, had gained significant experience doing virtually any job in the store. Since he worked there longer than any manager, most of them referenced him if there was ever an issue. Bob didn't mind helping out and genuinely wanted the store he'd spent so much time at to succeed. One part of my uncle's job that was cool was that he literally served the same families as they grew up. His friends, parents that were in their 40s when he started in high school were now in their 70s and had continued shopping at the store. The town was relatively small, and he had a lot of personal relationships with many of the regular customers at the store. They'd essentially grown up together. One thing my uncle is really good at is making eye-popping sales displays. Think making American flags or footballs out of different colored soda packs stacked on each other, or bread flowers. You get the idea. According to him, these awesome sales displays really helped to move the product, and customers also liked seeing the cool displays. My uncle took a lot of pride in these displays and was always coming up with new ways to put contemporary themes in them. Enter new store manager. Uh-oh. This new manager, who we'll call Tammy, was much younger than my uncle, but similar in some ways. Like my uncle, she'd worked her way through the system, but had accepted every promotion she'd gotten. She knew how to do the jobs in the stores, but she didn't have the attention to detail or raw experience that my uncle had. She also had a desire to significantly increase store profits so that she could be in contention for a district manager. Immediately, there was friction between my uncle and Tammy. Tammy hated having to rely on someone to help her out and wanted to show everyone that she was the boss. To do this, she thought it'd be a good idea to make some changes to the store and various departments. I would go into specifics, but they aren't important. In general, they were unpopular. What really matters is the following interaction regarding a soda display. My uncle had ordered more boxes of soda from the distributor, but there were some delays. This takes place on a Tuesday. Tammy, where's my soda? It should be here. Our store sales are going to be hurt because there isn't soda for a sale near the entrance. Bob, our distributor has delayed the shipment. It won't be here until Thursday. Tammy, okay, but it had better be here on time on that day or I'll write you up. Bob, okay, I'll make sure of it. It'll have a gorgeous display. The next day, Tammy, where's the soda boxes? Why is there nothing for sale? Bob, I already told you, the shipment's coming tomorrow. The display will be set up tomorrow as soon as it arrives. Tammy, okay, but you better make sure there's never another late shipment again or I'll have your head. The next day, Thursday. The soda had arrived and my uncle set up the display beautifully. Customers complimented him on the display in front of Tammy, which she didn't like, and the sales were strong of the product. Everything seemed to be going off without a hitch. However, Tammy, always the wisest one in the room, decided that she would be better managing the bread and bakery displays herself, so she relieved Bob of his duties. Of course, my uncle, being the low-level employee that he was, just rolled with it, knowing full well that sales would fall in the department. Sure enough, sales in the bakery and bread department fell. But of course, Tammy wrote it off as a general loss of interest. The banter between Bob and Tammy continued for several months until one day it came to a head. A shipment that was supposed to arrive of some food, I can't remember what, had not arrived and was running several hours behind schedule, which led to the following conversation. Tammy, Bob, where's my shipment? It should have been stocked and ready to go by now. Bob, the shipment's been delayed for X reason. It'll be here in 2 hours. Tammy, I don't care why it's late. You should have scheduled it earlier. You're fired. And just like that, my uncle was fired from the store he'd worked at for 35 plus years. My uncle wasn't an idiot. He knew any grocery store in the universe would love to hire him. He literally got fired, took off his apron, got in his car, and drove to the other side of town, walked into another location of the same chain, asked to speak to the manager, and got hired on the spot. The manager at the other store couldn't believe that the other manager would be so stupid to fire someone with so much experience. Now, it wasn't long before customers figured out what had happened. First, there stopped being displays of any kind, as soda and other items were just generically stacked in a small cube. Second, longtime customers in the bakery and bread department started wondering where Bob was and complaining to management of the store. When they were told he was fired for a BS reason, they all left the store and drove over to the new store Bob worked at and began shopping there. Sales at the store fell significantly, and there were so many complaints received from unhappy customers that corporate got involved, and any complaint about Bob not being there was referred directly to the C-suites. Tammy got fired less than a month after firing Bob. Meanwhile, sales at the store Bob worked at increased significantly as many new customers followed him over to the new location. No doubt, Tammy thinks it's just favoritism by the customers that caused all her problems and feels it was all very unfair. And our last story. Received a reckless driving ticket on my private property. Before anyone gets upset about the speed, this is a gated-off private road/driveway. There was zero chance of another car being on it unless they broke through a locked gate and trespassed on clearly marked private property. So my driveway's in a weird spot that goes alongside a highway for about 4 miles before turning off and up towards the house. The entire property is fenced off and gated and posted private property, no trespassing. It's about 800 feet from the highway and slowly moves further and further from the highway. I use my driveway as a place to work out kinks in my cars, get them set up properly, etc. before going to the drag strip. I love cars and try to do things as safely as possible. Roll cages, proper harnesses and helmet, etc. I never open them up on the road because I have no need to. I can do it on my own private property. Anyways, last night I was having fun with my newly broken and engine swapped car, doing a few runs back and forth, and after the 6th or 7th rundown, I noticed a cop with lights on sitting at the gate. I headed down to tell him I'll be right back. I have to go get the key to the gate, but he insists I stay there. So I stay, and he demands license, registration, insurance. I tell him I have none of those on me, and the car isn't even registered or insured. I bring it to and from the track or drag strip on a trailer. I tell him this is because the car isn't even street legal and is a track car. So he just gets my information from my name, date of birth, address, etc. I ask him why he's even here. This isn't a road. Why is he stopping me? He tells me reckless driving, and he has me on laser doing 162. I start to argue that this is a private road, driveway, clearly because he's sitting behind a locked gate, and how can I be reckless driving on private property? He starts telling me I can go to jail if I keep arguing. After about 20 minutes of just standing at my gate, he gives me a ticket to sign for reckless driving. The ticket doesn't even have a posted speed for the road on it because this isn't a road. Update. All that was needed was just a plat map survey drawing showing my driveway in relation to the road. The fine was canceled. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.